NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, and another friends on the other line. Let's get started. Who the fuck are you, and what do you do?
My name's Scott Hiscoe. I'm a professional skydiver and base jumper based in Australia.
And do a fair amount of bouncing around with it all, too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm all over the place, mate. I'm never really in one spot for very long.
I was going to say, it was a matter of trying to figure out where you were going to be so we could nail this down. Because you're off to, what you said, the States next week?
I'm supposed to be. I've actually kind of had a couple of health issues pop up, and I've unfortunately had to cancel and gutted. So it's been a big kind of a life goal for me to do a head-up world record, and the time was about to happen, and now I've had to put it off. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait till the next one in 3 years' time. But we got the head-down world record next year, so I can focus on that for now. But, yeah, unfortunately, no skydiving for the next couple of months. Just a little hurdle got thrown at me last minute, but it's all good. Well, we move on from that.
I'll tell you what, though, it's always good to have goals down the road, right?
Yeah, that's right. You need something to kind of keep you stimulated, something to work towards.
Yeah,
Someone have always said short-term goals, long-term goals.
So, like I do with every episode, I'm going to start you out by taking you back to not necessarily how you got started in skydiving or base or anything, but anything extreme.
Yeah, I guess as a kid, I was always kind of attracted to dangerous things. I started out downhill mountain biking.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's funny. Most of the things I started doing when I was young, I was never really good at all. I started with downhill mountain biking. I was always crashing. I was always hurt as a kid. And then that moved on to surfing. Once I moved down to New South Wales, downhill mountain biking kind of stopped and it moved into surfing and led into big wave surfing. Did a lot of chasing big waves around the world, just the way I do, chase skydiving and base jumping nowadays. A bit of toe-in surfing, but mainly kind of paddling into big waves was my thing. But same story, I was never really any good at it. I used to just get smashed and lit up a lot and break a lot of surfboards. And yeah, I was good at wiping out, but never really actually did that good at surfing. But yeah, I think I was just attracted to the adrenaline of it more than anything.
I mean, I gotta say, I gotta admit that being good at crashing is actually a pretty fucking important skill in the type of lifestyles that we lead, right?
That's true. Maybe it's come in handy for my base jumping and skydiving these days.
That being
Sure.
said, I mean, as a kid, I fucked myself up a lot on a BMX bike, like I think most kids of my generation certainly did. But big wave surfing, man, that's fucking next level over the top.
Yeah, I think you just got to be someone who goes up around the ocean and understands the ocean, you know? Someone growing up in the ocean, you're comfortable, you swim well. Yeah, it makes it a bit easier for someone who isn't very good in the ocean, you know? But yeah, it's still scary, man. It's a pretty unpredictable place, you know?
Oh, fuck
Pretty
yeah,
out of your...
man. I mean, I have scars from the student break in Batubelong in fucking in Bali.
Yeah, right.
So, so I can't imagine the actual big waves, you know? I mean, I'm lucky with the waves I was learning how to ride if they'd even crest, let alone, and they still fuck me up.
Yeah, they do. And like I said, I think it's something you got to be pretty current with and you know grow up around because I couldn't do it these days, man. I haven't surfed properly in years and years, and otherwise to go out in big waves right now, I'd probably drown, dude.
So, how did all that lead you towards ending up deciding you wanted to jump out of an airplane?
I was actually. It's funny enough. My sister came back from the States and she did a skydive over there, and I was just obsessed. I was watching her video, and I was like, "Fuck, man! One day I want to do that." And actually, I don't know if it was before that or after, but I saw a video of a guy jumping off KL Tower, and it was on like a sports channel in Australia, and I was like, "Fuck, what is that?" You know, like never seen anything like that before. Someone jumping off a building, and then yeah, did a bit of research online, and then just led me down the track of you got to be a good skydiver and space jumping, and you know, you need a lot of experience to get into it. So it's kind of around the same time. My sister did a tandem skydive. I watched the video. I was obsessed. And then for my 18th birthday, which is only a few months later, my dad took me for my first jump. And then it just snowballed from there, man. I started out slow in my career. I was still a surfer that skydived. And then eventually I was a skydiver that occasionally surfed. And then I was just a full-blown skydiver.
It's kind of funny how that happens, right?
Yeah, if you want to be good at it, or even if you don't want to be, whatever it is, it just takes over your life, you know?
It really does. Now, so you say your dad bought you the tandem for your 18th birthday. Was he like relieved that you were going to stop fucking yourself up on big waves or at least find something different?
I think he opened a whole another can of worms there. You might regret it. He doesn't mind me skydiving, but he absolutely hates me base jumping.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I can too. If I was a parent, I probably wouldn't be happy with it either. But yeah, it's caused many arguments over the years, that's for sure. I think he's finally accepted after 16 years of base jumping.
Now, where was that first skydive at? What drop zone?
I was actually at Wollongong.
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half south of Sydney. And funny enough, that's where I work now doing tandems.
So you would either know or have crossed paths with my good buddy, Derek Massey.
I know him really well.
Yeah, that's that. If I was gonna go gay, he'd be my guy.
Yeah, I worked with him for a few years. I just recently caught up with him about a month ago, actually, over in WA. He's working over Western Australia now.
Yeah, he's jumping Rottnest
Island, yeah. So I went and caught up with him. It's good. Yeah, he's a legend, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he and I started doing tandems together in Las Vegas, back in I want to say 2000. And have just been great friends ever since. And now he's just big and fat and ugly over in Australia.
he's still pretty muscly, man. He's a big unit, but I dare say living and working with him in Las Vegas would have got pretty loose. He loves a party, doesn't he? He's a machine.
Yeah, we definitely had our fair share of fun, although he had to move to Australia to end up getting finger tattoos. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've given him a few tattoos actually. I got a tattoo gun. When we get a little bit loose, we get the tattoo gun out and start tattooing each other.
oh, good man, good man. So, your skydiving career started out like a lot of them do. You did that first tandem, and then you decided this is it, and worked your way into fun jumping.
Yeah, pretty much booked the AFF course like a week later. I was an apprentice electrician at the time, so I didn't have much money. So yeah, it took me probably 6 months to do my AFF just for the cash. And then yeah, it probably took me a good year and a half or so to do my first 100 jumps. You know, I was kind of slow, but then eventually I just threw everything at it, man. That's all I did. Worked during the week as an electrician and just jumped all weekend, and then repeated that for a long time.
I was going to say, was that the goal? Was work was going to be as an electrician?
Once I started skydiving, it wasn't anymore. That's for sure. But yeah, growing up, it was. That was the goal. Was being an electrician. I always grew up around loving it, being obsessed and interested in like anything electrical. But yeah, as soon as I started skydiving, man, all my plans changed.
How
Everything
did
went out.
how did Dad handle that?
He was okay with skydiving. It's a regulated, safe-ish sport. But yeah, when I got into base jumping, yeah, he wasn't so keen on it. He's my mum, on the other hand, I'll probably get all my wild side from my mum. You know, she's probably the wilder one out of my parents. My dad's a bit more tame, but yeah, I mean, he's gotten used to it. It's taken a very long time, but
Sure.
I think he's realised that I'm not as bad as that as I was at surfing. So I've got through the danger period, kinda.
So
But
now,
yeah.
what was your transition in the sport? I mean, you got your AFF, took about 6 months in that year to get that first 100 or so jumps. When did it really start to kick into high gear for you?
It's funny. I got to about 600 jumps, man, and I just got sick of doing normal work. You know, I was just like, all I want to do is skydive. I just want to be the drop zone. That's all I want to do. And then my boss actually offered me a job. He said, "Come work for us, be a packer, just be around the drop zone. We'll give you the jumps to get the 1,000 jumps, so you can do tandems, and then you can just work it off once you get the jump experience." So we call it the RAP program out there now. It's at Sydney Skydivers at Picton, and the owner, Phil Onus, is awesome. He's super good for the sport. And yeah, he just let me just rack up a debt and jump every day. And then once I got my tandem instructor ratings and AFF ratings, I just worked, and over about 6 months paid off my debt. And that was it. I was a full skydiving bum then, and have been ever since. Yeah, lived in vans and travelled around just doing tandems. But I was competing a lot then too. I was competing in VFS in the Australian team. Started out in the team doing video in the Addicted, and then progressed on to being actually inside a team with a team called Focus. So yeah, I was fully surrounded by skydiving. I was doing tandems, doing AFF, I was doing video, I was shooting camera for a team. Eventually led into competing inside a team. So yeah, fully submerged in it. Did 5 world championships back to back.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
that's
it's all.
especially in the beginnings, that's a good eye on a DZO and a great idea to see those people that really clearly have the passion for it and tap
Yeah.
into that. I mean, you can see, oh, this one's fucking hooked. Let's make sure he's got a steady supply.
Yeah, I've got one. I'm gonna get all his money.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
he's good. He's great for the sport. He supports anything competition wise, any progression in the sport. He's awesome for it.
Well,
Can't thank him enough. But
and honestly, that's the one type of addiction that I think feeding into is fantastic for everybody. I mean, it's keeping people happy and keeping them passionate and keeping them really pushing towards goals. And if you and your business can do well because that person has a real passion for it, that's a fucking win-win all the way across the board.
absolutely, man. Keeping his planes filled. He's keeping a solid like flow of instructors coming up through the scenes. Yeah, it's great for the sport, man. It's a perfect training operation where they can get away with doing that. Whereas where I work at Wollongong, it's just purely a tandem factory, and you need, at least 1,000 tandem jumps before you can get a job there. So it's a good place, like where I grew up, to kind of feed out these instructors to the more experienced drop zones.
Sure.
So it's a win-win situation.
Well, and really cool to kind of keep going in all aspects of the sport, because I see a lot of people that they get into working in skydiving, whether it be shooting video or tandems, and that kind of becomes the whole process, or they shift over to the competition stuff and walk away from that side of things. But to be able to keep them both going, kind of, I would imagine, keeps your eyes wide open to everything that's going on in the sport.
Yeah, it was good, man. Like you said, it's either usually one or the other, and it's hard. Being in a team's not cheap, even though we were heavily sponsored. Just juggling team, and tandem work it was hard, but yeah, man, it was a good way to do it, because usually a lot of people that do tandems, man, they burn out from the fun jumping scene. As you know, they don't do anything really towards skydiving anymore, apart from doing tandems, and the progression stops. But I guess, one of the lucky few that kind of could juggle and balance those two, and keep fun jumping a lot, man. And I competed for 12 years straight, 5 world championships back to back. So that's 10 years alone just in world championships.
Sure.
So yeah, like, doing tandems during the day, going to the tunnel at night, training on the weekends. Like, yeah, it was a busy while there. But yeah, once COVID kind of happened, I stepped away from the competition skydiving. We trained for 2 years for the Russian World Meet, and then we couldn't travel anymore.
Sure.
And then we were unknown when we would be able to travel or skydive again. So I kind of stepped away from it there. But my main goal was to get a medal at a World Championships. And my last World Meet we got third. So then from there, it was like, all right, I just want to be world champion now, and then I'm going to retire after that and find some other path. And fuck, man, our training was going great. We were up there with battling it with the top team, SDC Core in America. Our national scores were similar, and then COVID happened, and it kind of fucked all my plans. So
yeah, it upended a whole lot of shit for a whole lot of people. That's for damn sure. Well, it's always been fun to. I was lucky enough, I flew in Dubai for such a long time that I got to know a lot of the people, especially in the canopy world, that were at the top of their game, world-class competitors that were also working skydivers every day and never gave up on that passion. I mean, on every other load, almost every day, I'd have Cornelia Mihai in the back, shooting video or doing tandems, and then on her day off back on the drop zone to train, and then on evenings in the tunnel doing other stuff. And you look at somebody like that, which it sounds like you were, and you go, Jesus, man, that is some intense drive.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to, like, same with Cornelia, like you mentioned, just to mix it up. You're not doing one discipline, I think that's an important thing I've always tried to do. I've done tandems, I did AF, I used wingsuited, I free flied, I swooped, flew tunnel. You just got to keep the drive going for everything. You want to be good at every discipline and not one discipline,
Sure.
But like in Dubai, they're lucky there. They're shooting a lot of outside videos, so their swooping is amazing because they get to fly their sports canopies every day,
Yep.
And the facility progresses wicked. So people who work there like, oh.
Well, I would watch them, and I've been outside. I've been in the cockpit for so long that as the canopies got better and better, and the swooping, the sight pictures changed pretty dramatically. And then I'd hop out of the airplane. It seems like years later in Dubai, and look up at a camera flyer landing, and just lose my shit. I'm like, oh fuck, what are they doing? And not even want to watch it because I was like nervous. And they're coming down balls out on a Petra on a work jump. And you're like, oh, okay, wow, that just doesn't look right to me. But you're right. They have such access and they spend so much time in the air that it's available to them to just get out and go for it.
Yeah, it's perfect location for it. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. The canopies these days are pretty wild, hey?
Oh man, it's
Especially
fucking mental. It really is. I mean, I'm the old dude that was flying a 96 Velo way back when, and that's like ancient and big compared to what they're flying now. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So where did base jumping come in for you? Because clearly your father thinks that was a step too far.
Yeah, it kind of came in pretty early too. I started skydiving in 2004. And I started base jumping in 2008.
Wow.
So back then it was pretty underground still. There was none of these courses overseas. In Australia, it's totally illegal. It's very underground. So, yeah, once I had about 400 skydives or 500 skydives, I found an Australian mentor. That's how we kind of learned here. You just kind of find someone and then they'll teach you and take you under their wing. And then it just progressed from there. It was the same thing in Australia. It's hard to get base jumping numbers up. It's a lot of effort to get jumps, and the jumps are small. Obviously, Australia's a pretty flat country. So, yeah, the jump numbers went up quite slowly, but over the years, I did a lot of Europe trips, a lot of overseas trips, KL Towers. So that's kind of where we get our jump experience. But, yeah, I've kept pretty consistent at it, and it's progressed on to wingsuiting and wingsuit proximity flying and whatnot. And the last 3 years have been the best 3 years of my career. So it's still progressing every year and year and keep going harder and harder. And, yeah, the hardest part is trying to keep yourself in line from going too hard,
Sure.
But
now, what was that first base jump like for you? I mean, because I'm assuming it was in Australia, so it's probably pretty low.
Yeah, it was a bridge. It was a 180-foot bridge.
Fucking
and
fuck.
Just a static line of PCA. And yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I'm pretty fucking hardcore, not scared of anything, whatever, And I remember when I landed, I was like, yeah, fuck, I don't know if this is for me. Hey, it made me rework everything. And then I had 2 packed rigs there, and we just went straight back up and did another one. And then, yeah, it was like, actually, nah, I love it. And, yeah, almost got busted on my second jump. The cops pulled up, had to do a little getaway and everything, So, yeah, the world of base just kind of started from there. And
I was going to say, you got the full experience your first trip out.
Yeah, exactly.
I drove ground crew for a few sessions in Las Vegas when I was out there, and I think it was my second year in the sport. The guy that was the one that shot the Lemmings videos, which was the early Bridge Day videos. Yeah, so Will Forshey was his name. He was a buddy of mine, and I worked with him in Las Vegas, and he brought me to Bridge Day to shoot the landings portion of the Lemmings videos because he was trying to get it a little bit bigger. And I had never base jumped at that time. I was pretty low time skydiving. And it took one day of watching landings from Bridge Day to go, I'm fucking never doing that. It was bodies in trees and slamming into rocks and fucking just mayhem.
Yeah, you'd lose it if you saw some of the Australian landings, that's for sure. Just boulders and rocks and cliffs. Yeah, it's not very nice, the landings sometimes, but
so now
Bridge Day, big event though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, still going strong to this day. And with the catapult and everything that they've got going, I think it's absolutely amazing. And I think that's one of the good things that skydiving has given me is I have a deep appreciation for base jumping and what's done in it. And I also have no desire to do it. But I know enough about it because of my time in skydiving that I understand everything that's going on, which makes me appreciate the difficulty and also be wary of the danger involved in it. So I quite enjoy it, and I think it's fucking amazing, and I'll never do it.
Yeah, probably a smart choice, man. I pretty much anyone that tells me they want to get into base jumping, I try to talk them out of it. I just say I wouldn't recommend it. Hey, like once you're in deep. You're gonna see a lot of bad shit.
Sure.
You're gonna lose a lot of friends, but
sure.
At the same time, it's awesome, man. So.
Well, that's kind of the thing too, though, is I've had to come to grips with the fact that base jumping and skydiving are so intertwined that even though I've never base jumped, I've still lost a lot of friends to the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just how it is. It's I've had family and friends that have said, so you should stop doing all that because you've lost so many friends. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to continue to lose friends till the day I die, whether I have anything to do with it or not. So I'd much rather embrace the passion that they've got going on at the risk of having to say goodbye to them someday than stop, all of it and not have what I get out of it.
Yeah, that's right. And now you're in so deep, you're still going to know all these people. They're going to keep going, but
yeah,
I don't know. I've thought about it a lot, man. Even nowadays, I'm like, what am I doing? Do I really need to keep doing this? But like the way I've always looked at it is it's allowed me to meet some of the raddest people on the planet, that I would never have met if I didn't get into these sports. So
sure,
I appreciate that for sure. But yeah, nowadays I feel like I've kind of done it all in the base world. And it's like every year I'm like, what am I doing this for anymore? Like, what do? You just keep going harder and harder and harder. We all know where that leads. So
sure.
Don't know. I'm always looking for new goals, new things to do.
Sure. Now, what? How did you when you made that first base jump day and then you decided, fuck, I think this is what I do, did you hide it from dad or did you just tell him?
Nah, I just told him. I was kind of like, look at this, look what I did. They were just like, fuck, what are you doing? Hey, what's wrong with you? And then then I was jumping some pretty gnarly jumps, and my dad was watching that, just going, "What are you doing?" Just starting arguments like, "Do you have to do that?" It's like, no, of course I don't, but I'm gonna.
I mean,
But
it's kind of the double whammy, right? Not only are you risking your life, but you're doing something pretty fucking illegal that the cops enjoy busting you for.
yeah. I mean, yeah, most of the places we do it are kind of out in the, out away from everything. But yeah, the city jumps, you're just asking for it. But I've been arrested twice, and most of the cops are pretty cool. They're usually just confused when they catch you. What are we actually doing wrong? Like,
Yeah.
what are we charging you for? I know you can't do that, but I'm not sure exactly what it is that we're going to find you for.
Right.
Most of the time, it's trespassing.
For sure. Well, I remember watching one of the first Chronicles videos, and base jumper by the name of Frank was on top of a tower. It's the end of the video. Credits are rolling, and they've got the video of him standing on top of the tower, looking down, and there's cops there waiting for him, telling him, "Don't jump, don't jump, don't jump." And of course, he flicks it anyway, and he lands. Then when he lands, it's this great video of the cop standing there, and he actually grabs his stash bag and hands it to the cop and says, "Hold this," while he starts loading his canopy into the stash bag. And that's when I was like, "Oh, that's a fucking base jumper. Okay, I get it."
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm busted anyway, right? If I walk down, I'm still trespassing. I may as well send it."
Absolutely. And then to get the cop to help him put his shit away, I just thought was such fucking good form. It was so good. So now when did the wing stuff come in? Did you take it to the air and get really good at it out of a plane before you started flicking stuff?
Funny enough, well, kind of. I got right into it when I was new into wingsuiting. I did maybe 300, 350 skydives in a wingsuit. But back then, man, it was like 2008, 2009. The wingsuit technology was pretty shitty. Just small little suits. I started just base jumping in these little suits. I think 2011 was my first wingsuit base jump. It was in like a Prodigy 2. Like, I don't even know. It's like a two-piece. It's essentially a tracking suit with wings,
Sure.
And then pretty much since then, man, I haven't really wingsuit skydived much. It was just purely just wingsuit base jumping now. I kind of progressed through the suits just in the base environment, which, I wouldn't recommend doing, but I've kind of gotten away with it. Like before every Europe base trip, I'd maybe do 15, 20 skydives in the wingsuit just to get current before the trips. And then eventually I just kind of, like before my last Europe wingsuit base jump trip, I didn't do any wingsuit skydives at all. I'd done wingsuit base jumps not like long before, and I've kind of just, as long as I'm flying, going on trips still, and I don't really wingsuit, I'm more of a free flyer. I'm not really up. It's kind of the going joke. Not a wingsuiter, but I'll go and push these gnarly jumps. But I think having a lot of skydiving experience, a lot of wind tunnel time, a lot of free fly, just body awareness, it's definitely helped me out.
Sure.
I wouldn't recommend, proximity flying with 300 wingsuit skydives, but
I mean,
I've got more.
I've watched a fair chunk of your proximity videos, and those are the ones that I'm like watching between my fingers going, "Oh, fuck me,
Yeah, me
man."
too.
It's all right. So when you're coming up to, you're getting ready to do a jump like this, and nowadays, obviously, these wingsuits have got incredible power, and Matt and Nick, when I had them on the show a few years back, actually explained to me that it's harder to stay lower. Those things just want to push you up and away from the
Yeah.
mountain. But how do you come up with these? Some of these lines are just so insane. You're looking up at the tree branches, and I'm like, what? How do you
Yeah.
plan those out?
Well, lucky for me, being from Australia, I kind of just repeating jumps that other people have done, to tell you the truth. Like these guys in Europe, they're out there scoping and finding these lines. I see videos of them jumping them, and then we watch the videos and we can judge kind of reference points. We map out references of where we're going to turn, where we want to engage. So I'm lucky enough, or we're lucky enough, that people have kind of done the experimental work for us, and then we can watch their videos and we can kind of map our flights out off other people's flights. But a lot of people see these videos we do when we're on the ground and they're like, fuck, thinking we're maxed out. But the terrain, man, it's like that.
Sure.
Like Matt and Nick were saying, you're pinning at the ground to just stay close to the ground. And if with your wings inflated, it's really hard. So a lot of that time, that's when we're sweeping our wings back and stuff. It's to stay low to the ground. If we need to get away from the ground, usually you can just peel out. But definitely there's sections where we can't do that, where it's kind of fly or die. You do end up in situations like that sometimes, which obviously isn't ideal. You always want to have that speed and power and that range to boost out when you can. But yeah, we're lucky enough now, the technology, the prior experience that people have kind of found and done these lines before us. That's kind of where we go from there. But obviously, I've jumped jumps in Australia that no one's jumped before. And then that's kind of the fun point of it as well,
Sure.
kind of doing the math and figuring out, is it actually flyable, and that's what these guys are doing in Europe.
Sure. Well, I mean, purely as a spectator, it's funny. I remember the first time I saw someone fly through the crack and thinking that was just the most obscene thing I'd ever seen. And then it seems like next thing you turn around, somebody's flying through fucking holes, in rocks and stuff. And so now seeing something like the crack or some of the lines that are flown, the bigger lines that are flown in Europe, almost seem quaint to me as an observer if I'm not basically looking at the shape of someone's hair blown back on their shadow on the rock, so it's
Yeah, boring.
which says something about how far that sport has gone and the limits that people push to.
Yeah, and it's the same when you're doing it too, man. Like, I have to kind of slap myself every now and then, or actually a lot of times, like, it does become to that level where you're desensitized enough. You're so focused on hitting this proximity line, or hitting this tree gate, or this line you've envisioned in your head before you go there and do it. And you land sometimes and you're like, fuck, I cooked it. I missed this tree gate, and then I wasn't engaged, and I wasn't low enough on this section, and and it's like, fuck, man, you just did a wild terrain flight that
Sure.
10 years ago would have been unheard of, and you're pissed off about it because you weren't low enough, you weren't close enough, you weren't. And that's how it progresses on over the years of doing these jumps. And it's like, you have to keep kind of pulling yourself back. Like,
Sure.
I have to do it all the time. I always joke, I've got the good angel and the evil angel. The evil angel's always heavily in my ear. Okay, go for it, go for it. But luckily, I've still got that voice of the good angel saying, no, pull up a little bit,
For sure.
But yeah, I guess when you do it that much, you just push it harder and harder. And when you do a jump that wasn't as hard, you're pissed off about it.
I think we've all got those. I mean, there were a lot of years as a jump pilot, the end of the day, and people want the wicked flyby, and you find yourself pushing it just a little harder and getting the wingtip a little lower and the mains a little closer, and then you land from one going, oh fuck, that was a fucking that was a gnat's ass away from really bad. I had a buddy of mine that was also a jump pilot, and he was wingsuiting, and I had figured out in the Otter how to basically do a pretty tight flyby with a wingsuiter, and so we decided we were going to do that. But he was on a bigger, newer wingsuit, and he was just gunning it full speed. So my turn, which normally would have been a respectable flyby, became a holy fuck, did he just go back into the aircraft? And I landed going, that never happened, and we're never doing that again.
Yeah.
Like, one of those, to truly feel like you just fucking got away with it.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what you got to do, right? You got to find that limit, find that line, and then just step back a little bit. And then
yeah.
And then time it'll just that line will go further away, and that's how it keeps going. But there's been a few positive pilots, over the years.
Yeah. Well, and as the wingsuits have progressed so much, you guys are no longer jumpers, you're pilots. I mean, you're facing the exact same issues that I, as a pilot of an aircraft, face, and they call it CFIT, controlled flight into terrain. That's exactly what you guys flirt with. Just oops, I was good and I miscalculated, because there's really not a lot of room for error in some of the lines I've seen you fly.
No, there's not. Like a lot of them, like I said, do look worse in videos, but there is a lot of fail points on jumps. Like you could be the best wingsuit base jumper in the world. You have one little moment, one little misjudgment, one little bump in the wrong conditions where you shouldn't have been there or too close, whatever it is, man. And like you said, bam, all over. So,
But
yeah,
I'm
it's a pretty
guessing
way, really.
you clearly, with as long as you've been doing it or as hard as you've gone, you've clearly had some amazing experiences, especially in Europe.
Yeah, yeah, awesome experiences. I feel like I've lived 5 lives. I've done some wicked shit, man, and some things. I've had a lot of experiences in my life that made me look at life completely differently to the average person would.
Sure,
Some of
sure.
the things I've seen, some of the things I've done, it just makes you usually just appreciate life more, like, and come to terms with the mortality of life. Whereas a lot of
Sure.
people don't. They put things off. One day I'll do this, I'll do that, blah blah blah. It's like, man, life's short. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Like,
Sure.
I've hung out with people and they're having a great time one moment, and 5 minutes later they're dead.
Yeah.
So it's never really that's the sort of stuff that makes you go, fuck. I'm going to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it.
Sure.
Because that's life, man. It doesn't matter what it is. I just got sick the other day. Could have just died there, laying there watching TV. And
Sure.
I was
Well,
thinking how ironic that would have been.
that was one of the things. Have you seen the new documentary Fly?
Yes, I have.
Man,
It's
I was
awesome.
so impressed with the way that they did that because I kind of
Yeah,
expected it to be, oh, look how badass our sport is, and it's amazing and it's risky, but it's super cool. And they made it really honest, and they really showed this is, it's a life or death thing, and some amazing good stuff happens, but some really shit things happen too. And I was so impressed with how humanized it was. I think it really
yeah,
painted an amazing picture.
yeah. I agree. I like to be honest and realistic about everything I do as well, and I don't like it when they kind of portray it as something it's not. So I agree. I thought it was awesome. It had the realism, the realistic of what we're doing in our sports.
Yeah. I mean,
Someone may experience the most lovely guy, and it still can happen to him.
yeah. I mean, that was my when I stopped that film, I was sad. I was a little bit heartbroken, and that's exactly how I think you should feel with that because
Yeah,
it's love and hate. The clip of all the people celebrating in Vegas. I know a lot of those people, and I know a lot of the people that have been to that party that aren't around anymore. And
yeah,
Emin McNeely jumps to mind, and Pirate was fucking awesome, and he's not around anymore, and all these other people that run through my mind. But I can't hate the sport because that's the reason that I got to meet and fall in love with these people in the first place.
absolutely, man. It's kind of the people always say to me, I've got the kiss of death because I've lost a lot of friends, like over 40 people. Kind of the
Yeah.
same things. I don't know if you know Dukes. I'm sure you know Dukes, but
Oh yeah.
he's people joke with him as well. He's got the kiss of death, and everyone's like, "How the fuck do you keep doing what you're doing?" And it's like, man, I'm just lucky because the more people you meet, the more people you know that are going to die. Right? It's just
Yeah.
statistics.
Yeah.
So I'm just lucky enough to have met all these awesome people, and this is what our sport is, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I see the video of Vegas with all those people, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, fuck, are there a lot of them not there anymore?
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, I think it's easy for us to understand because we're so deep in it, and it's just become such a part of the existence that we've chosen. The hard part is, I'm sure the same with you, explaining to friends and family that have nothing to do with the sport that you've lost another friend, and everybody, of course, handles it their own way. And for me, I don't really share too much with non-jumpers. It almost seems like you're pandering for attention if you're, oh, I've lost another friend. I don't
Yeah,
do it. I don't do any of that stuff, but I certainly reach out to people in the sport and go, oh man, another, a tip of the hat and pour a little beer out and share
yeah,
with them. But it's very difficult to get across to those that aren't in the sport what it's like to lose that many people and still stay with it.
yeah, for sure. And most people and outside the normal life, they might lose their grandparents or maybe their parents, or that they very rarely experience that side of life. And I think, like I said before, that's what makes me different, makes me look at life completely different and appreciate things more. I talk about it a lot with skydivers and base jumpers and stuff when we're partying or whatever. And I'm always like, I don't want to be morbid about it. It's just, I just try to bring it to people's attention, people's past mistakes they've made, like just from all my experience I've had around all these kind of situations, to try to pull people in line, appreciate things more or look at things differently like I do without having to kind of wait for these experiences to make them do that,
Yeah,
Does that make
absolutely. Well, and that's a huge thing too, especially as we live in this social media driven world and obviously a huge spotlight on sports that are on the more extreme side. It draws in people that I don't think really appreciate the consequences the way that they should because they
Yeah,
only see the videos of the good shit.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
the reason you don't see videos of a bad wingsuit proximity flight is because they never found the fucking camera.
It's in a million pieces.
you
I
know?
mean, when I learned there was a video called Bounce Out. I'm not sure if you probably know about that, but
Hmm.
it was just a video of a bunch of different fatalities base jumping, and my mentor that taught me just made me watch that. If you want to get into base jumping, you got to watch this video, and then that's going to be like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit too. I think a lot of the courses overseas show a lot of fatalities before people get into jumping, and just to kind of like you just said, this is the reality of what you're going to see and experience. Do you really want to get into this sport?
For
If you
sure.
do, awesome. If you don't, there's the door.
Well, I mean, that was the old days when you did the tandem base course, or the tandem base course, the tandem course. I don't know if it's the same now, but you had to watch the side spin video, and the
Yeah.
side spin
So
video, my instructor was very blunt about it. Everybody you're about to watch in this video is fucking dead.
yeah.
And this is what you've signed up to do. These guys aren't here anymore. You need to know that that's what's on the line. And I would even share that to a lighter degree with, and you got this as a tandem instructor, I'm sure, the tandem students that are like, so we can't actually die on this, right? And my answer was always to look them right in the eye and go, absolutely. This could be the
Yeah.
last thing you ever do. I don't think that's going to happen, and I plan on having dinner tonight, but we could absolutely die. So you,
Yeah.
we didn't give you
I'm the
that
same,
fucking
man.
paperwork for no reason.
Yeah. You see everything, every second word was death or dying. Yeah, it's actually real. Like that's the other thing that makes me always go, people are just so unrealistic. I have it all the time. People say, this is pretty safe, right? It's like, not really, man. You're jumping out of a fucking plane with a backpack. There's a lot safer things you can do,
Yep.
but it's as safe as skydiving can be.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I'm like, I'm not planning on dying today. I got shit to do this afternoon, but it is a possibility.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure every friend you and I have lost over the years had plans that night.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's part of it. And I was always wanting to be very blessed, especially with students and especially with people that I saw that seemed to be leaning towards the type that would get bit by that bug. Is look, this is a path that you're choosing, and it's definitely got some pitfalls to it. Now, that
Yeah.
being said, looking towards the future, what kind of stuff? You said obviously you're not jumping for a little while now, but you've got the head down world's record next year, and then the head up.
Yeah, so I'm a part organizer for the head down records. Have been for the last couple of attempts with 200 waves. They're every 3 years. So I'm the Australian captain and do all the selections and stuff like that. So yeah, once this head up world record's over, it starts next week. Then we'll kick off the training for the head down world record, which is next August. So that's the next big skydiving thing. But I also run I'm in a team called Burn Perspective. We do a lot of skills camps and boogies and stuff around Australia. So we'll be flat out with that in the new year. We run a bunch of events, just skills camps mainly, coaching, organising. But then base jumping. I've got a couple other things in the pipelines that I'm trying to get going. A couple of stunts, another world record I'm trying to kick off, but who knows what's going to happen. But for now, the head down world record will be the focus. Super heartbroken that I couldn't get to the head up world record this year, but the next one will be in 3 years. So I guess I'm just going to have to go to that one instead.
What did you think of the wingsuit foil flight?
Yeah, sick. I mean, it's funny. Like you're always like, feels like everything's been done now, right? Like, what's next? And then they come up with this, like, that's sick. Right. So now what's next? I don't know.
I know it.
But yeah, sick. Good idea.
I gave up saying I think we've plateaued fucking years ago, because it seems like every time those words come out of my mouth, something bizarre and new happens. Watching, I got to watch firsthand Vince take off on a vertical flight on Jetman.
Yeah.
But then this foil off of that, I mean, it makes complete and total sense, but I never thought of it. Next thing you know, you're watching some guy fly 12 fucking kilometers off of a base
Yeah.
jump.
Crazy. I mean, I don't know what uses it's going to have in the sport. Maybe for obviously records of flying between islands or whatever the fuck it's going to be used for. It's still sick, but yeah, like you said, Fred and Vince, man, I always thought that they always did the sickest stunts, and this can't be topped. Next minute they're jumping off a cliff in a wingsuit and flying inside a plane. It's like, what the fuck?
I know.
I'm always trying to think of a better stunt. I used to always love doing stunts or skydiving displays or whatever, and I'm always thinking, what can I do now as a cool stunt? But everything's fucking been done, man. Like
Sure.
I don't know what we use. And then someone jumps a foil off a cliff. You're like, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, no, me neither. But that's why it's fun to watch, because everybody's coming up with shit that just would never cross my mind. So
yeah, I need to come up with something.
with the 200 way, you think you guys are going to get it this time around? I mean, it's been a long time coming.
I fucking hope so, man. It's I think it's the last attempt having a crack at it, because we've probably had 40 attempts at it now.
Yeah.
Haven't got it, but this year, this attempt coming up, we're going to be changing the whole formation style. It's going to be a completely different formation than what we've been trying to drill. So hopefully that opens up the door for it to be building quicker and smoother. But we'll soon find out. It's going to be fucking frustrating if we go over there and we don't get it again. So
Sure.
I really hope we get it, and then we can just leave it at that for a while.
I honestly, I mean, I'm coming up on 30 years in skydiving since my first jump, but the fact that you guys are going for a 200 way head down is just mind blowing, because the first time I saw a 200 belly way, everybody was like, "Oh, that's not possible. They're never going to get that." And now you're doing it head down. It's insane.
And the sound it must make from the ground, I heard it sounds like a fighter jet flying over, just ripping through the sky at 200 way. Who knows, man? I really hope we get it.
I mean, even a fucking 40 or 50 way belly jump makes a shitload of noise, but I mean, 200 people on their heads, and then just to see that much nylon in the air after the fact, it's just a spectacle.
Yeah, the first world record I did, the first jump was 170 way. And like I said, with the base jumping, I thought I was hardcore on a base jump or whatever. I was tracked off and I went to deploy, and I just had my hand on my pilot chute, just looking around. It was just like doof, 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 canopies opening everywhere. And I was waiting for my window to deploy. And I remember landing thinking, fuck, I don't know if I like this. Hey, like, I don't know if I'm into this. It's fucking pretty fun. But as the jumps progress, they get better and better. And the actual world record jump I did, I didn't even see another parachute around me, you know?
I think mentally, that's always what made me nervous about the big waves, was whether it be belly or anything else, was not the flying in formation with that many people. I always thought I was smart enough to, keep from taking anybody out like a meat missile, but it was break off and deployment, just fucking staging it and having to just wait your turn. Fuck me, man.
Yeah, that's all. The break off of deployment's definitely always scary.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. Someone above you can have a malfunction. Someone could be unconscious. You could have a malady going through someone underneath you. Fuck, there's so many different things, man, that can happen.
Yeah.
The actual pattern on landing and stuff, it's surprisingly really controlled and really smooth. Just the natural speed of the parachutes just separates the pattern, and it works out fine. It's actually really good.
Well, and I think especially by the time you reach the level that you're on, something like the 200 way world record, you should have a pretty good grasp of what you need to do.
Yeah, for sure. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? There's definitely a few people on there with not much experience, like tunnel rats and stuff, but usually they're in really big parachutes. They're not even in the picture, so that kind of works it out. Everyone in that congested area, they're mega experienced, so like you said, it would be fine.
So tell me a little bit about this burn and the stuff that you're going to do this upcoming season.
Yeah, so the burn it's 5 of us, 5 coaches and a cameraman, like a media camera guy. Just really a bunch of really good friends. that we've known coming up through pretty much just 5 free fly coaches from Australia. They kind of just banded together to get like a free fly school together. So essentially a team, but we just run boogies and skills camps. I think last year we ran about 15 skills camps or boogies. This year, I don't know what we would have done. It would be very close to pretty much the same. And then a couple of the boys, I don't know if you heard of the Braziers, they're over in Dubai actually at the moment, running some camps over there. So yeah, it's tunnel camps, skydiving camps. I'm the only one in the team that's not a tunnel instructor. I never have been, but I had enough experience in there. I can fly in the tunnel, but I'm certainly not a tunnel coach.
Sure.
Like the other guys are. But so yeah, it keeps us busy. I've been trying to just get away from doing tandems as much. I've done over 10,000 tandems now where, you know, I was kind of just starting to get a little bit stagnant. Now I'm not competing, and I need some other drive to keep me learning, keep me progressing, you know?
Sure.
And believe it or not, I'm pretty shy around people, and coaching I always put off. When I was competing, I'd get asked to coach. I'd always be like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do public speaking or, you know, get up in front of a group and tell people what to do. And so it started with me about just getting out of my comfort zone, man. Organising big ways, organising records, and then that led into coaching camps, and here we are.
It's so funny, and I've seen this firsthand, especially because of the podcast. I talk to so many people that the average person would call fearless because of the things that they do and the things that they consider just an average day. I mean, for you and I, going out and taking a tandem, it's a Tuesday. It's nothing. For the person we're taking on that tandem, that's a life-changing experience. But to have that kind of what most would say fearlessness in that arena, but the thought of standing up and talking to people is just horrifying, is so it's so wild how twisted the human mind can be. It really is. Because
isn't it?
You know, I mean, Nick and Matt, if you knew Matt at all, and I'm sure you did, he was as over the top, amazing people person that you could never shut up, and always had a smile and always had a great story. And the first time I got him and Nick into the studio, Nick, of course, is the very quiet one. And I start the same way. Who the fuck are you guys and what do you do? And Matt sat there like a deer in the headlights, just wide-eyed and mouth slack-jawed. And Nick's like, hi, I'm Nick, and we're Nick and Matt from the Nick and Matt Show. And I couldn't shut Nick up, and I could barely get fucking Matt to talk. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened there? And it's because same thing. He saw the microphone and the red light came on and he just seized up. And it took me 3 podcasts and a lot of alcohol to get some good stories out of Matt.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, if I was in the studio now, it'd probably be completely different too. But just being at home on a computer, it's a lot more natural for me. I'm just having a chat with you, you know. But yeah, I'm the same man. I'm I wouldn't say socially awkward, but I definitely get nervous around a lot of people I don't know or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting how you said that. I know Matt and Nick real well. I did a lot of base jumps with them over the years, and even Nick this year, I was jumping with him a little bit this year as well. But yeah, that's funny. You would never expect it to be that way. Nick's always been quiet.
Never, man. I mean, it was just the polar opposites of what I expected. And of course, I worked every day with them in Dubai for a long time. And you know, I got to know both of them really well in the real world and on the ground. And it was cool because I got to be a huge fan of what they were doing and also know who they were. And you'd look back at these tandem students that would be attached to either one of them and go, you guys have no fucking clue who you're doing your first jump with. Like, you're going to get to say you got to do a tandem with the Matt Munting or the Nick Scalabrino or the Cornelia Mihai or all these rock stars. And you're like, oh, these people have no idea who they're really with.
I'm sure they would never forget if they did a tandem with Matt Munting, man. He was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, he's the only person I've ever known that could use the word frothing in a sentence at least 5 times in a conversation.
Got a CUDA tattoo on the back of my leg. You know, he always said, "Oh, that's CUDA. That's CUDA." That was his way of saying that's awesome. You know?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, he's a really good dude.
Yeah, man. I was lucky enough that Petra let me take some of his ashes up to Everest. So I took him and some of Micah Couch and I took them up there a couple of years back up to base camp. Yeah,
Nice one, man. Nice.
So, as we wrap things up and get down towards the end, because you've got all these events and all the fellas are doing stuff, and you've got these records coming up, people are going to want to know, how can they find you on social media? How can they reach out to find out about some of these events? Or maybe I've got a non-jumper in Australia that wants to come do a tandem with you. How do they find you on social media, and how can they reach out?
Yeah, man. So most of my jumps and footage and all that sort of stuff I post on Instagram, and it's just my name. So it's Scott, SCOTT_HISCOE. And then same on Facebook is where we would advertise all our skydiving camps. Burn Perspective is our team that's on Facebook. It's also on Instagram as well. So yeah, I'll share all my events and stuff on both platforms, but most of my jumps, my wingsuit based jumps, my kind of stories of what I'm doing and what I'm up to will mainly be on Instagram. So it's probably the best platform to get in touch. And yeah, I work at Wollongong in just an hour south of Sydney if you want to come to a tandem.
That's fantastic. Scott, man, I'll tell you what, I know you're a busy guy bouncing around doing all kinds of stuff, but I'm glad that we found the time to sit down and talk. I can't wait to see if you guys nail this 200 way. If you do, we're fucking having another episode because we're going to talk about that shit. And it's a bummer that you don't get to go on the head up, but I look forward to seeing if you guys pull it off in 3 years.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been a pleasure to come on. Thanks for having me. Yeah, hopefully I get this head up world record, but at the same time, half of you guys, I just want to be there, you know. I don't want to miss out on it, but yeah, hopefully I get it as well, man. But thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All the best. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.